So for this part of any podcast, you're supposed to say something that makes people think, wow, I really want to hear the rest of this episode. So Martin Whiskin, what have you got?
I am on today's episode.
Hooray! You're listening to the Beat Motel podcast, and we need to warn you that we like to use words like fuck, shit, and syndicalist, butty scruttox, angry flap, and foot biscuits. And we don't often bleep those words out, apart from because we're not complete animals. But if you understand that and you like music, then listen on.
Fuck, 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 fuck,
You know, no one's ever asked me what an angry flap is.
Andrew, what's an angry flap?
Oh, you're not old enough for me to explain it to you.
Another time.
Maybe when you're a big boy. Welcome to Beat Motel, as my voice just said in a recorded fashion. I'm here this week with guest co-host Martin Whiskin. I think you've probably been guest co-host more times than anyone else. So what does that tell you?
It's an honour. Well, that you're... I don't know, actually. I was trying to turn it into a negative immediately, scraping the barrel somewhat.
You just seem to have so much availability. Just
Don't tell anyone that. They'll think I haven't got any work.
just always here. I just imagine you just kind of sit here in between recordings, just waiting for a recording to start.
He hasn't asked me for 4 days.
Right, let's crack on. Let's get your riff of the week up and running.
Oh, yeah.
And it is somewhere on here. Where the hell's it gone? Oh, right, yes, this one. Here we go. Bring the energy. Yay.
Go.
Opinion can be void if not presented from both sides. Speak your mind, my dear, your loves and fears, and nothing in between.
I can't date this at all.
I think it's like late 90s, I think.
Oh, I can now. Now that
maybe-
you say that.
Maybe mid-90s. And the reason it's just such a happy sounding song without, I don't know what the words really mean. Maybe 2000. 2004, in fact. Oh, it's
Ooh,
late, more recent than I thought.
Late era 90s.
Yes, very late 90s. The second 90s.
So who was it and what's the name of the song?
It's the Ordinary Boys, and I don't know the name of the song. I don't know names of songs anymore. Something. It's one of the album tracks. Talk. I don't know. I pass on that. But it's from the album Over the Counter Culture. And I remember getting this and thinking, I don't know if I like this or not. And I revisited it literally decades later. and like there's so many bangers on this album. It's just got such a good feel to it. And I kind of feel bad for the Ordinary Boys in a way now because they just sort of petered off a lot. And I don't think going in the Big Brother house did him any favours.
Yeah, so Preston the singer, I had to look this up. This isn't like knowledge I already had. He did become a bit of a famous for being famous, which I thought is unfair if you've been in a band that's like made loads of music and stuff.
Yeah.
But this does, with that context, they weren't a boy band, were they? They were just like
proper
a
instruments,
band.
Guitar band, yeah,
proper instruments.
Yeah, proper instruments.
Interesting stuff. But that they do sound. Now you said what year it is. There was sort of the record industry was a bit kind of caught off guard by the whole lad pop and Britpop thing, and started trying to churn out guitar bands. Like
Yes,
Busted. I think we're from that era.
who still don't have a drummer, right? Or they do, but they never tell anyone who he is.
It's like Spinal Tap, or they just put a bag over their head. Were you ever a fan of Rush?
No, obviously I've heard of them, but I couldn't tell you any of their stuff.
In that case, this strand of conversation won't go on very long. They're one of those bands I always kind of feel like I should like, but never quite kind of latch onto. But their drummer died quite a long time ago now, and they've just reformed with a new drummer. And I think it must be the hardest job in music, because Rush fans are the kind of fans that will listen intently and go, and write an email after that. I'd like to point out in the third bar of Tom Sawyer, there was a paradiddle when there should have been that kind of thing. But as I say, yeah, we'll move on to my riff of the week, because I don't have much more to say about Rush, but this is actually a riff.
Just quickly, I realised my song wasn't a riff and it was a chord sequence. So,
oh God, don't worry about accuracy on Beat Motel. It's all just a thinly veiled front for me to speak to my friends and try and give it some. I was going to say try and give it some meaning. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? Meaning? Oh dear. So that was actually a riff, which is unusual. That's a band called Castle Rat.
Okay.
And the song is called Dagger Dragger.
The intro riff was very Caius-y, and then it changed into something less Caius, and even less so when the vocal came in, because I wasn't expecting and it was cool to hear that.
So the singer on stage, apparently, she has a sword.
Oh, okay.
So she has a sword that she kind of swings around, and I'm just reading this with my extensive research. The band insists on staying in character as medieval rat royalty. They've said in interviews that they like fans to turn up in chainmail. Which would be potentially noisy, or if you're particularly mischievous, you could make magnetic chainmail. And
I was just going to say, I wonder what the pit sounds like.
Like that must be a lot of extra weight. I've played in some dodgy attics in bands over the years, and you wouldn't want that extra weight added to anything. But this song just popped up as part of my Tidal recommends, which is performing very well, the algorithm for me at the moment. Cool. And I liked the busy bass, and I liked just a riff. Sometimes I don't really need much more. I don't need deep, meaningful lyrics. I couldn't even tell you what. I was going to say I couldn't tell you what Dagger Dragger's about, but I've probably got a rough idea based on what the shtick of the band is.
When is that from?
I think it's current. Let me find out.
Because it sounds very of that sort of desert stoner rock era.
There's a bunch that keeps popping up in my world, or especially on Beat Motel. The previous episode, I had a guest, a friend of mine, James Kindred, and he played something from ZZ Top, Tres Hombres album, which is 1972. And ZZ Top to me was just weird. Sort of in the 80s, I remember sort of thinking, what the fuck is this? It's just seems like big cars and women shaking their bums about and stuff. And two old dudes with massive beards. So I kind of, as it turns out, incorrectly dismissed them, because this album, Tres Hombres, by ZZ Top, it's desert rock. It's that sound. It sounds like Caius. It sounds like all of those flavors of bands, and it's really, really good. I tried to listen to it last night whilst walking back from the boozer, but got the wrong album and was put right off. I got as far as
good night at the boozer. Then.
I got as far as a lyric that said, "Oh, it was all like, I've got to have a. She's got to be mine," all that kind of 70s rock nonsense. And then there was the line, "But she's only 13. I was like, I'm out. I'm done. See you later. And listen to black metal at all, because that's not problematic in any way. Right, let's move on to the theme for this week, which did you come up with this theme? Was this one of mine?
No, you forced this one upon me.
I forced it upon you, and it might have been because the last few episodes... Oh, sorry, just to finish the previous thing. March the 1st, 2023 was a Castle Rat. So it is proper current, but I think bands are just getting better at almost choosing a production style from an era, which is great. So the theme this week is crazy crowds.
Yeah.
Because the last few episodes we've done really complicated things, and it's been really hard to come up with songs. So I thought, screw it, let's just do one of these kind of reminiscing episodes and crazy crowds. So this is your first piece of chamber music that you chose, and it goes like this. Hello. Hello.
This is that silent 4-minute piece.
What's happened to that? I'll give it one more go, and then I'll have to take evasive action. Oh, man. Right, hold on.
Can you hum it?
This? No, I absolutely cannot. And when I do actually get it playing, then you'll see exactly why I can't. Well, you'll know why I can't. I mean, you chose the fucking song.
Did we say what the theme was?
Yeah, it's crazy crowds.
Something's happening in the air today.
I can't even find Finder. The file browser on my Mac. This is great. No, where's it gone? Do you ever lose stuff like that? Just trying to like wing it for some continuity.
Do I ever lose stuff like that? Yeah, well, yeah, all the time. For about 3 years, I had 2 folders on my computer called Documents, and that made that made everything difficult and long-winded.
Also, like, every time you save something, it could be in one of 2 places.
Yes,
that's a real treat. That's quite special. I don't feel quite so bad about my life now.
It's an absolute nightmare.
Right, I'm going to test the track here and then upload it, and hopefully it'll work.
The suspense. Better be good after this.
No. I found it. It was in my velvet pocket, and it's this.
It's like a bad trip, that bit.
It reminded me. I was on stage doing an electronica thing, and it was like it doesn't matter, polyrhythms and stuff speeding up. And I asked a friend of mine. Actually, I never ask people what they think because ultimately I know it's not that good, so I don't want someone to tell me the truth. And she said, "Your set was a bit like, oh, mummy, the carousel's going a bit fast, and I want to get off." Just that reminded me of that entirely. So who was that?
So that was Dillinger Escape Plan. And have we said the theme now? I can't remember. Maybe.
We've had, well, the theme's crazy crowds. So
yes.
I mean, I might know the story you're going to tell for this, and if you were there when such and such happened. So why did you choose Dillinger Escape Plan?
So I chose Dillinger Escape. I've never really listened to them. I saw them a couple of times. And one time I saw them at Reading Festival.
Oh, right. Yes.
And my memory is probably a bit hazy, so do correct me if I get this a bit muddled. But this is approximately what happened. And this was actually a different the newer vocalist. So that track there was the original vocalist. Anyway, so the newer one is, always throwing stuff around on stage and launching things into the audience. Well, on this day, he launched something else. He from what I remember, he dumped in a bag on stage, and it came up on the big screens as he was doing it.
Or him curling one out into a Sainsbury's bag for life or something.
I just remember it being bright red, as if he'd had a really heavy curry session the night before.
That makes it so much worse.
I said, "Is this not the story that?"
No. All I knew of the story was fella from Dillinger Escape Plan parks his breakfast on stage.
Yeah, so there's more to it, which was also coming up on the big screen. So he smeared it on his white T-shirt.
Right. Where did he do? Is it like in the middle of the stage, or did he like
somewhere on the stage? Yeah, it was quite near the front, from what I recall. Fortunately, I was quite a way back, and then he went to the front row of the crowd. So he jumped off the stage up to the barrier, grabbed this poor young teenager's head, and just went like that straight onto his T-shirt. And this kid was throwing punches trying to get him off, and it was awful. So that was part of the crazy crowd thing, because there was a kid punching the singer from Dillinger Escape Plan, but with good reason, I might add.
We do not advocate violence unless someone's trying to pull you to their shit-smeared bosom.
Yes. And then he carried on doing his thing and swung round a boom arm mic stand like that over his head, and then just launched it into the crowd. And it must have flown, because we weren't near the front, 25 meters maybe, because when you get a bit of weight behind it and it goes up and up.
Well, they're
and,
heavy things on the bases, aren't they?
Fortunately, the crowd saw it and just went and opened up, because it probably could have killed someone. Anyway, so that was Crazy Crowds number 1.
Was it like crazy crowds reacting to? I mean, I get like confrontational singers, or you got like a sliding scale of like Cliff Richard at one end of it and G.G. Allen at the other end of it.
Yeah.
So you're always going to be somewhere on that. But hossing heavy stuff into the crowd, that's not sensible, is it?
I don't think so. I think it's very risky.
I saw, and you will know us by the Trail of the Dead, supporting the Sex Pistols at Crystal Palace. I don't know when it was. I know it's a strange...
A while ago.
Crystal Palace athletics track, no doubt. And the singer of And You All Know Us by the Trail of the Dead was pushing the monitors off the front of the stage into the photo pit.
Yeah.
Which I just thought seemed like such an odd thing to do. Because for one thing, do you not need them?
The guitarist probably got really angry at that.
So it wouldn't work these days. A guitarist using Kempers or using Virch lamps, you remove the monitors, they'd be like, can't hear anything at all. But also, obviously, they were landing on the photographers, sort of, which is just strikes me as a dick move. I don't think you're like sticking it to white man's rules or showing Thatcher a thing or two by injuring people with cameras.
Yeah.
I do say this slightly because for a period I was that person in the photo pit with a camera. And I've mentioned it before on here, but a band called These Arms Are Snakes, who I loved, singer came on through a. I was in the circle pit. I was in the. I don't like calling it the snake pit, but I was in the photographer's bit, and I was crouching down. So I don't know if he didn't see me or not. But he threw a bottle and just smashed right next to my head. I also wonder if it was a prop bottle, because they're fairly strong things. Beer bottles. I don't think I've ever accidentally smashed one.
Someone hit me over the head with a beer bottle once and it didn't break. And I just went, what?
Just, ow.
Yeah, that hurt.
Right, so yeah, I mean, you've kind of launched into a good one there, seeing as Dillinger Escape Plan, pretty much the only thing I know about them related to stage is him, having a poo. So this is my first choice for Crazy Crowds. Who that is? I sometimes I really can't tell with you.
No, I quite like the sound of it though.
That bass playing is absurdly cool. It's really good. That's a band from Colchester, and they're called Blur.
Oh,
and
never heard of them.
Never heard of them. I don't think they'll amount to anything.
It's been done.
It's been done. Well, by them, admittedly. But I chose this because when I was a little naffler, a little young, kid into bands, we used to love going to see Blur, and we saw them at quite small venues like Norwich Waterfront, or like there's like a basement bar at Colchester Uni. And we were fortunate enough to see them when they played this. This was Pop Scene. I should say what it's called.
Oh,
I'm going to have to adjust the camera for a minute. This is no good for people on audio only, but I just turned into a moomin when the sun came out, which is like my equivalent of Gremlins. And they released this as a single. It wasn't on any of the albums, as was the style at the time. Bands used to sort of release in-betweeny singles or EPs in between albums, and they were booked to play this on The Word. Whoa. If you remember that. Yeah, you must remember The Word.
Yeah.
And this was back when bands had actual mailing lists. So when you were at a gig, they'd hand out all these, well, they're just postcards. And you wrote your name on the postcard and put a stamp on it and then posted it. And you got put on their mailing list. And you used to get letters and we used to get all kinds of shit from Blur. I think Blur, more than anyone else, used to send out a lot of stuff. And they sent us a letter saying, look, we're playing a secret gig at Norwich Waterfront. And we sort of didn't know anything about it. We were immediately like going to our parents, like, please let us go. Because Norwich is only about 40 miles from Ipswich, but it's one of those roads that's just horrible. You know, if you get stuck behind a tractor, you can have an hour to your journey, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, they did take us. And that's the last time I think I saw Blur play to a properly rough audience. So there was, the Norwich Waterfront's got really, really low ceiling, quite a low stage, and there was sweat pouring off the ceiling because the whole crowd at Blur gigs used to go fucking crazy, and we were in there as well. And the weird thing is, I can't remember what we were doing to go crazy. I think we might have just been jumping up and down.
Yeah, probably.
You'd be sort of packed in. All you could sort of manage to do would jump up and down. But I can remember Damon Albarn just going bonkers as well. I was well used to seeing him climbing around in the rigging and doing all sorts of stuff. But that just seemed to be like peak Blur, peak rough, rowdy Blur. And my friend had an instant camera with him, or like a little cheap camera, and he was quite a lot shorter than me. He's a guy called Dan Foden who might listen to this one day. Hello, Dan. So because I was quite a lot larger, I used to pick him up, kind of like an extension of a camera tripod, like hold him out over the crowd, and each time the camera flash went off, I had it burned in my head. Like he's made like Damon Albarn, like upside down, or like just something mad happening. And after the gig, we were like, wow, I wonder how many pictures we took, because obviously then you didn't see the pictures on the back. And we'd taken 49. So considering we only thought we had a 24 exposure film in there. Yeah. We then tried to rewind the film, which would mean nothing to anyone below probably 30. And it just kept going and going and going. And that's when we realised there was no film in the camera.
Amazing.
Beautiful. But after this, Modern Life is Rubbish came out, and that was a slightly more thoughtful album. The crowds were a bit less rowdy, and then Park Life came out, and suddenly they were fucking massive band, and it packed with the audiences instead of being loads of indie kids, which was a certain look. It was either like a James t-shirt or a Levelist t-shirt, army surplus trousers, and probably there would have been a few dreadlocks in the crowd as well.
Oh yeah.
So it went from that to teenage girls who were screaming. Now, I say teenage girls our age who were screaming. And stupidly, as teenage boys, we were against that. It's one of those things you look back on your youth and go, why were you complaining that suddenly the audience was loads of girls instead of like loads of smelly Levelers fans?
Down with girls, up with BO and...
Down with girls. You can't hear the word girls without thinking of Father Jack. Girls. More what? Right, this is your second choice.
What a band.
The thing is that I've been to more gigs that sound like that over the last few years than I think I've had any other type of gigs. So who was that?
No, really no idea. I had to do research for this because a while ago I saw a video clip of a crowd and I thought, that's weird. And I used AI to re-find it, and it did find this video because no matter what I typed in, I couldn't find it on YouTube or anywhere else. Anyway, then I had to associate that type of crowd with a type of artist, and this is the one that came up and is Merzbow, or something like that.
It's a name I know, and so far this episode we've changed roles. You've chosen all the difficult stuff, and I've been quite light-hearted and poppy, if I'm honest.
I've never listened to anything like this. And this is called Woodpecker Number 1.
Named after the cider, I assume.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You ever drink woodpecker cider?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's proper sitting in the park after dark with a pack of Consulate and cider with your mates.
I was a 2-litre bottle of White Lightning kind of guy.
Oh, fucking hell. Really?
Well, it was cheap, weren't it?
And you're still here.
Yeah. And then
is that why you haven't drunk for many years now?
Yeah, maybe.
You got it all done when you were young. It's like, I just don't need any more now.
It just ripped the insides of my throat off with White Lightning. So the reason I picked this was because of this video, and I found the video again eventually, of a crowd where people would take toothbrushes to gigs and just vigorously brush their teeth to the music.
to Merzbow.
and other noise acts. It was apparently a thing for a while. They would take their toothbrush and...
I've never heard that. I'm literally a promoter of noise nights. I've been put on fuck knows how many noise events over. I run the East Anglian Noise Alliance, and I have never heard about toothbrushes at gigs.
It was so bizarre, this, because it was a guy, he was sort of sitting on the floor on some sort of platform, I think, and people were sort of moving around and milling about around him, and he just going really into it.
That's just wow.
Where did that? Why would you think? Oh, should I take my toothbrush tonight? Yeah, I will. I will take it.
The thing is, like at these gigs, when I first started going to them, the first one I ever went to, I normally drive to gigs. I'm very rare I actually drink at a gig, and I started to feel quite unwell. And it was this tiny little room it's called the rehearsal rooms in Bury St Edmunds, which invariably will get clipped for socials for this. But this room, in fact, we did a whole episode about the rehearsal rooms a little while ago. Probably 2.5 meters by 3 meters, and a PA that's loud enough to be used as to be classed as against the Geneva Convention for volume.
Okay.
Like, well, one of the last times I played there, I was playing something using a kick, and each time the kick sound happened, my vision blurred and I couldn't see. It's like scare, like so loud you get an adrenaline kind of rush.
Yeah.
And there was a guy called Ryan Jordan there who solders together. I don't know how he does it, but it's basically there's a really powerful bright flash and the loudest bang, like boom you've ever heard. And it went on for so long. Somebody had a nosebleed. Somebody else passed out and had to be taken from the room.
Wow.
And I'd never experienced anything like it. So I had earplugs in, like pushed in so deep I could remember what I had on a Tuesday at primary school lunches. And that wasn't enough. So I then had my hoodie up and I was just pushing my hands over. And the promoter, Jason, took a picture of me doing that, and he used it as the header image for the next event. Like,
that's awesome.
So I've seen plenty like this, but no one ever really knows what to do with themselves. That's the sort of logic, because you don't sort of. Generally, there's like the occasional if there's a particularly bad noise, but cleaning your teeth just seems like such an odd choice. And loads of people dribbling everywhere.
It's weird, isn't it? Unless they just do it so in case they think I might end up kissing someone tonight. I just really need to make sure I've got clean.
Do you know where I met my wife? It was at the Harsh Noise show.
Yeah. Luckily, we both brought our toothbrushes along. Have you ever seen those video clips of, I can't remember what his name is, but it's a guy who just has a snare, and that's his gig. His music is just playing a snare in all these weird ways, like putting on a table and turning the table on its side, and that's the audience where I'd feel very self-conscious of being filmed, because some of them are sort of like, yeah, this isn't. Other people are very bemused by it.
There's always some people. We've just sort of things. It's all our mates. It's not like it's a big scene and you get like the big names in noise to come and play your town. It's generally the same people, and the people. We sort of all take it in turns to be on stage or not on stage.
Yeah.
So like you're watching your mates going batshit crazy, basically. But there's always people who turn up not knowing what it is. And I can remember one of the noise shows in Bury St Edmunds. Loads of kids there's a huge Air Force base nearby, and these American teenagers, they must have been 14 or 15, very friendly. Like in my experience, having grown up around loads of American servicemen's kids, they're like super polite, super friendly. And I came along to this noise gig and I was just like, we were sort of going, do you know what this is? Like, are you sure? Are you sure here? And one of the guys, there's 2 guys, 2 girls, one of the guys proper loved it. And some people do just get like captured by it, because it's like, a friend of mine described it as a sound bath. It's just so all encompassing, and so you can't even see straight. And normally all the lights are off as well, so there's only the only lights that tend to be are these sketchy ones I got off eBay years ago, which are diminishing in number because they tend to catch fire. So that's actually, Martin, I'm talking about all this. There is a whole like documentary video that I made about the noise scene, which is on the Beat Motel channel, which I recommend anyone watch, because it's I'm quite pleased at how well I captured it. But there's a moment on there at the rehearsal rooms where I come out and tell the promoter there's a stronger than usual smell of electrical burning in there.
I've seen this. I've seen it.
Yeah,
because I remember that.
And he goes in and he comes back out and he's like, yeah, I can smell electrical burning, but yeah, it's no worse than normal. Oh man, enough about the noise scene though. It's a lot of fun. Right, so this is my second choice, and I'm going to give you a little hint. This is going to be the second mention of Reading Festival. Reading Festival.
Start to wear the purple for me now. And wisdom will all vanish, I promise. It's just a matter of time, so feel laughter.
Oh, weird cut at the end there. That was I reckon you must know who that is.
I think, and I'm probably only getting it because I saw someone post about them the other day. I think it's Gogol Bordello.
It is indeed. And this album in particular, I was at Reading Festival with my wife, and she was not having a good time because we'd previously gone to Latitude Festival. It was the first Latitude. Very polite. You sat down, people came out from the bars. Would you like a drink? I've talked about it at length on this podcast, so I won't go on about it. But to set the scene for you, Martin, somebody came to our tent one morning, and we were getting ready to apologise for the noise, and they said, "We've just finished making our packed lunches. We've got a little bit of smoked salmon left over. I wondered if you might."
I like a bit of smoked salmon. That's awesome.
So this is while I was wandering around the site in my underpants because somebody.
Oh dear.
Having been to festivals before, I had one pair of shorts and no spare clothes, and I put everything I owned in like these combat shorts, and somebody stole the shorts off me in the middle of the night. I'd go wandering around in my little pants. So going from that to walking into Reading Festival, where you catch a boat, which I always think is like a very ominous like crossing the River Styx or something. You catch a boat from the car park to the festival site, and within, I'd say, conservatively 11 centimetres of walking through the gate, Emma, my wife, just went, "I'm not coming back here again."
Good start.
Because you just looked out. We got there fairly late in the day. You looked out at just a sea of mud and pissed upper middle class kids who'd never been away from their parents more than a minute, just raising hell.
Yeah.
But the weekend took an upturn when we saw Gogol Bordello playing in a tent. And that's probably the best crowd I've seen in my life.
Really? Cool.
Just for vibes, just for, to go all millennial about it, just for happiness and joy and just everybody. The whole band is just so perfectly geared to ensuring the audience has an absolutely fantastic time. It's just have you seen them live?
I haven't, no.
Probably still absolutely incredible now, but quite a big band. I think Eugene Hutz, the singer, confusingly. I think they were Ukrainian, actually. Oh, I'm going to get whipped for that if I've got it wrong online. Just fantastic. Absolutely. If you get the opportunity, go see them. Just everything you could ever want from a band. And I was at an ATP festival in Minehead a few years later on, and different country, similar vibe. There was a Serbian kind of like carnival band. So obviously Gogol Bordello had like the punky edge. This was just like a band that would turn up to a carnival somewhere in Serbia and just provide the entertainment and play for hours. And I have definitely mentioned this on the podcast before. I'm starting to go around in circles. Got to about 2:00 in the morning at ATP, and they wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop. So the organisers switched off the PA, and basically the guy at the front, because they all take it in turns, just went, "We don't. This is like the first time we've ever played with a PA. We don't need it." And they just carried on till about 3:30 in the morning,
That's
like
amazing.
in the main hall, because they were just like, "Don't need electricity." But
Good vibes, good times.
that was Gogol Bordello. So now we're going to move on to your third choice, which I have to look around and I have to choose this one. You've chosen one of the... That would probably have to be on a Desert Island Discs for me, that track.
Really? Cool.
It's for the importance and how jaw-dropping I found it when I first heard it, because I'd got really into bands like Caius, and a friend of mine at a gig just went, I assume you've heard Fu Manchu, and I was like, no, and he just kind of went, put his hand on my shoulder like, it's going to be okay. But that video, fucking hell, when I was preparing the clip, I forgot how brilliant some of it is. So when it first kicks in, that first thump, it's like a policeman with a sledgehammer or something. Just the second it hits the ground, they've timed it so brilliantly. It's just wonderful. Who was it? I just gave it away, didn't I?
Fu Manchu. Evil Eye is the song. And the reason I chose this, another Reading Festival mention. So they played on the last night, on Sunday night, in a very small tent, and I'd never seen them before, and they were headlining, actually.
Did you know anything about them at all?
I didn't at the time. I'd heard of them, but never heard them. But there was lots of friends. I was into Caius and stuff like that.
What year was this?
Oh, it would have been late 90s.
Carry on.
So
I have time envy. Is that a thing? Like time travel? Time envy.
It's definitely late 90s, because I remember the people that I was with. So mid to late 90s. And I was so tired that all I could, and again, it's going back to what you said about a tent. It was so tightly packed. At the waterfront in Norwich with Blur. And you were just jumping up and down because everyone else was
just getting carried up and down. Yeah.
So everyone here was just nodding, just nodding. And because it was the last night, I was absolutely exhausted and I fell asleep standing up and I couldn't do anything about it.
I have seen that once before at a Manson gig, or Graham Culture, actually. Graham from my old band. So I looked over there because he's currently working just the other side of that door.
Amazing.
He just completely fell asleep, drooling on someone's back. But
that's brilliant.
This album, so it was The Action Is Go, I think this album. It's like, but what blows my mind is this came out basically Nirvana time.
Yep.
Which is just these and the Melvins. If I had heard either the Melvins or Fu Manchu at the time that Nirvana were coming out, I would have just disregarded it as metal nonsense or something, which is just a show that I've grown as a human being, because I fucking love Fu Manchu. And I saw them play the whole of The Action Is Go live at Islington Academy years ago now. And they're such a cool band. Just everything about them's cool. They've got that. They bring that... Caius, sort of, their desert rocks, there's an edge to it. There's like a slight malevolence, especially when Nick O'Vrare is in the band, like and Mark Lanigan. Like, you're slightly scared, but the guys from Fu Manchu, they'd just be like, dude. Yeah, I imagine. I don't know. They might all be very studious academics or something.
97. This song was.
Oh, I thought it was a little bit earlier than that. God, you saw them at the absolute peak then, and fell asleep.
Yeah, shame, mate. I don't think I made it that far into it either, but it was, tightly packed and just exhausted, and there was nothing I could do to fight it off.
Oh, I would have loved to see that. Trying to be a better host, I looked up some facts about this song and about the video. And in the video, there's like an old muscle car, like a big old American car, and it's like doing burnouts. But apparently the car was so unreliable, that was just them trying to start it and keep the engine going. And the song was then featured on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Maybe that's where I heard it first, because I had that.
Oh, well, that's probably. Oh, I don't know if I could spin it out, but songs that you first heard on a computer game. I'm not really much of a gamer, but there's a band called The Sword. Have you heard of them?
I don't think so.
They had a song called Freya that a lot of people knew from Guitar Hero 2. And you could tell when you saw The Sword live who was there because they played Guitar Hero. And I'll leave the reason why to your imagination. Right, so here's my third choice. It hurts cutting that off. Do you know who that is?
No idea, but I really liked it. It felt real, man.
Oh, the album's fucking astonishing. It's called Reinventing Axl Rose, the album. And the Axl Rose had voodoo dolls made of the band members afterwards. It's a band called Against Me, who I first was introduced to by our mutual friend Mafro, who I want to get on here as a co-host at some point. And he wanted me to get an interview with them.
I think you might have told this story before.
Oh,
with me.
I like to think of myself as reliable more than repetitive.
Does it involve Brighton?
Yeah, that part does. But it was another Reading. The only other thing my wife liked at that year at Reading Festival was Sing Against Me, because she said the crowd, there was hardly anyone in the crowd. Everyone had Cap Down played before, and everyone cleared out, so there wasn't many people watching. But it took her to see Against Me at the Electric Ballroom in Camden a few years later. And do you know the venue?
Yes, I saw Monster Magnet there.
Oh, bloody hell, Monster Magnet. So you've got that like gallery bit at the top, haven't you? You can sort of go up and you can watch the whole thing. And Emma, she's only wee, so she's normally at gigs, all she sees is like between the shoulder blades of whoever stood in front of her. But she went up there, so she said the crowd, she said it was just watching this like amorphous flowing bobbing around of lots of people, and she couldn't hear the band properly because of all the people singing along. Wow. And that's a real sort of hairs on the back of your neck sort of bristling up type gig in my book. It's a real passionate, adoring, but sort of, I'd say adoring crowd, because this sort of band, you're more in it with the band than there's no sort of hero worship or anything like that. And that's cool. I'm just trying to think who else has been like that. And when the Sex Pistols came back and did their Finsbury Park gigs in the 90s, they released a B-side to a single and they called it Buddies. And it was them playing Bodies, but with the whole crowd. They just used the mics on the crowd instead of the band. Nice. So you can sort of hear the band in the background, but you just hear the whole band singing along. And I chose that particular track because it's got so many voices on it. It's so weird that album, which cost them like, it says here, $800, I looked up, with that awful snare sound. But it just sounds like they just got loads of people into the room and just everybody sing. No one's got mics, but it's just the atmosphere of it's just so bloody great.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, so all your tracks have been noisy ones, more the sort of things I would choose, but as the inattentive timer is telling us, we're running out of time, so I'm going to play your last choice, and it's this.
Motherfucker!
remember this bit.
It's real. I didn't make that. Oh.
Did you shake your head at one point then whilst this was playing? It's like, what have you done?
Oh, no, just because it's so odd to me. This is, what do they call this, like metalcore, is it?
No idea. So this is, again, not a band that I ever listened to. I did some research for this one because I've seen lots of videos online of a certain style of, let's just say, dancing at gigs. And this band is called Knocked Loose, and they were one of the bands that are in this scene, apparently. The song is Deep in the Willow. So I've never listened to stuff like this. I've just not that I wouldn't like it, but I've just not.
I find it's a bit much. I love metal, but that like the occasional accent in metal's cool when it's just accents. It's just a bit. It sounds comical to me, is what it sounds like.
And they all sound very, very similar, all the bands. Well, in my opinion. But it's it's called crowd killing, where basically
I thought you could say two-stepping, which is just the weirdest thing ever.
Ballroom dancing. No, it's called crowd killing, and most people at the gig stand around the edges, and then there will be, I don't know, 5 or 6 people just doing spin kicks and windmilling. So it's not just the windmills anymore. It's proper flying kicks and stuff.
There's no space for me to show you here, but they call it, it's like two-stepping, which I always thought was a ska thing, but...
Oh, okay. And every now and then they do it to the people standing against the walls, who are obviously standing against the walls because they don't want to get involved in that stuff. But this is why I've got crazy crowds, not because of those doing the spin kicks. I don't need to talk about those people. The ones in the crowd, why don't you get angry when you get kicked in the head or punched in the head by someone who, I don't know what they're doing? Am I just old now?
I've decided, I was at a gig last weekend, and it was with Hello Kitty Funland, who every time I see them, Carlos, one of the singers, says, please talk about us on the podcast. Like we've done it a lot already, but they are a lot of fun. And a lot of people were at a gig in Bury St Edmunds last weekend, and there was a lot of that going on. And what always makes me smile is that people seem to sort of have to psych themselves up. So there's got a general mosh and whatever going on in the middle. And then somebody will just come flying in from the edge and literally look like they're trying to escape a swarm of bees whilst being arrested and tasered. And it amazes me that it's so rare that anyone actually gets clobbered. But if they go anywhere near the front, then they just get shoved. Just by do it. Literally, if you're going to come near, perfectly polite. I'm going to shove you back in. Yeah, because I'm stood there with my pint of alcohol-free beer, and I'm old enough now that when the band says, "Everyone, step forward, come forward," I think, no, I've earned the right not to. I've done my time. I've done my time. I've been the one coming forward for 30 years. There was a brilliant moment watching Hello Kitty Funland. They're really good with crowds. They do just get everyone going, and I don't even know how to describe. Right. On Beat Motel, once, a long time ago, I talked about them, and I talked about the fact that the town they're from, Bury St Edmunds, is a lot more middle class than Ipswich. And because of that, they took a sample of me saying that and played it at every fucking gig I saw them at. And I thought they'd stop doing it. I thought it was like a one-off. They played it when they won the local Battle of the Bands thing called Bury Sound. And I suddenly heard my voice come out, and just like a few people in the crowd knew it was me, and they just sort of turned around and looked at me, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I think what I actually say is, "Oh, they're quite sweet actually, because Bury St Edmunds is so middle class or something." And then their new single, the new EP, is called Middle Class Grindcore.
Nice.
And it's my fault.
Are you on it?
Yeah, the EP starts with me, so it's quite sweet.
That is epic.
Oh man, they are bloody great though. But yeah, so I was at that gig, and I was watching the crowd going nuts, and just thinking, go on, go for it. But yeah, the people around the edge, including the band's parents, were just goading everybody else on. But they did other things. They also everyone in the audience sat down on the ground, which I've seen several times at gigs. First saw it when I saw Fat Dog just before they got signed. I saw them in Ipswich, and they got everyone to sit down, like swear around. And in Bury, sometimes do rowing, so like you get rows of people facing each other, like rowing backwards and forwards. And I saw. In just 2 sentences, one of the things that sums up why I love Hello Kitty Funland so much, and I'm going to have to edit this word, but everyone sat down, and Carlos, he's always like, yeah, they really get the crowd going. He went, stand up, you c***s. He said, stand up, you c***s. And then the song finished. He went, thank you very much. We really appreciate you all being it's just the two polar opposites of that. I was there with some really good friends. We just looked at them. We just went, we love them. We absolutely love them. Stand up, you c***s. Thank you very much for coming. Oh man, I've got to have to edit that 3 times now. That's the only word we don't use, you see. Right. Now, we've had some fairly harsh music tonight. Today, this morning, whenever. And I've just sort of played it without comment, without any warning. I mean, we had Merzbow. So you'd not heard, just to be clear, I meant to ask you, you'd not heard of Merzbow before?
No.
Right, so Merzbow is like is like the big name in that type of music, in harsh noise. He's the one that everyone's heard of. I don't know who listens to that. I mean, what activities are you taking part in your life, your day-to-day life, that you put on Merzbow?
Just some admin.
Some light admin, yeah. And then we've had some metalcore, which I know is kind of unpopular in some castles, some quarters. But I'm going to have to apologise in advance and warn listeners of a sensible. I meant to say sensitive, but sensible sounds better. Listeners of a sensible disposition, that you might want to close your ears for the next 30 seconds.
Stick knife, car chop, boot cut. Skin that flick, she's such a little DJ. Get that quick, my street, but not the freeway. Turn that trick to make a little leeway. Beat that nick, but not the way that we play. Dog town, bloodbath, ribcage, soft tail.
It's a shopping list. Ribcage, soft flannel, or whatever he was saying.
I think it was his Christmas wish list. Actually.
Christmas wish list. See, like sonically, I don't really have anything against this band, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and that song was By the Way. It's just that at the time that came out, I don't know if it was just like a quiet time in the world of music, but they just seemed like the album was massive. Was it Californication but it was just like, I was just looking at it, just like, why? What's happened? Red Hot Chili Peppers before sort of had their own niche, and not a fan, but they sort of like fitted this funk, pop, metal, sort of a genre of one, probably, pretty much. And then all of a sudden they were absolutely huge.
Yeah. Wasn't this the album where John Frusciante came back?
He was definitely back in the band, and I'll tell you for why I know. A friend of mine who I used to work with gave me a free ticket. Oh, it turned out he gave me a free ticket because he wanted me to escort his kids to the gig at Hyde Park. And I chose this. Yeah, John Frusciante did a load of solo stuff there, which was kind of cool. Like in between, while Anthony Clitoris was off doing Oxygen or whatever he was doing. But no, genuinely, I think it was Oxygen. It probably wasn't Ajax powder or whatever it is that they used to do. But the audience members were absolute irredeemable bellends. I don't think I've ever been to a gig where the crowd was so unpleasant. Outside of V Festival in Chelmsford, that was the absolute worst. But we'd just seen James Brown, on stage. It was brilliant. The atmosphere should have been really good, but that thing at festivals or big gigs, there's always people pushing past you. Deal with it. It's just tens of thousands of people in a field. It's gonna happen. But these absolute man-child, giant baby men were just it was so odd because they were so emotional about seeing Red Hot Chili Peppers. Going, like screaming like they're at a Beatles concert at Shea Stadium. And if somebody dared brush past, I don't know. But that was a crazy crowd for all the wrong reasons.
That was an amazing impression, and I I've never experienced them giant baby men before, I don't think. But this album, I was just looking up the songs to make sure I wasn't getting it mixed up. Lots of people that I knew at the time loved this album and said they're back to their best, and John Frusciante's back to his best. But I remember I thought some of the guitar work seemed, and I am by no means a good guitarist, I'm decidedly below average, but some of the lead stuff just seemed really basic, like one string doing it all sort of thing, and just not really doing anything. Like the Zephyr song, for example, what's that?
I think people were just excited that he was alive, for one thing.
Yeah.
But also just that he was, I don't know, back in the band, because he's the most interesting member of the band, and still is. I don't think he left again shortly after, but he's always the one who's doing something interesting. Who sort of doesn't seem sort of caught. You've got Anthony Clitoris going off to south of France for 6 months to do vocals on the album, and coming back with gotcha, blue tack, clothes sauce,
and white tack.
White tack. Just sounds like he's circling what he wants for Christmas in the Argos catalogue. So yeah, it's a mystery to me, the ongoing popularity of Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I removed them from my Spotify because I just went off of them. I used to love them, and then became a giant baby man. So I removed them. So sorry about that.
Yeah, great bass sound. Well, it kind of is. It's kind of. I lost respect for Flea's bass sound when I saw. Have you ever looked at that website Equip Board?
No.
So it's a website you go to and you put in any musician, bizarrely, literally almost any musician, and it tells you, gives you a diagram of their rigs taken from roadies or road crew or whatever. So they're all accurate. It's a really good website actually. And Flea's ring is like 4 massive bass amps, and it just seems unnecessary.
Yeah, you don't need that many, especially with a PA. Come on,
you don't need that at all. Right, so there you go. There was our take on crazy crowds. And if you've got any comments on that, then keep them to yourself, quite frankly.
We don't want your comments giving us engagement on the...
No. I had somebody, I won't say who, what, or whatever it was, but I had the opportunity to have some analysis done on a few episodes of Beat Motel to say, like, if I wanted this to be the biggest YouTube channel or the biggest podcast in the world, what should I change? Don't hold back. And the answer is everything.
Wow. And on that note,
but at the end, like, normally, like, if we never sort of say subscribe, and Sam usually goes, look, he said quite a few times, if you're still listening at this point, then just improve your lives and just go and find something better to do. And this thing was like, that's probably the worst thing you can do for retention. Like,
wasn't that what they used to say at the beginning of we spoke about it last time, why don't you?
Yeah, switch off the TV and go do something less boring instead. I think I have to make a new disclaimer for Beat Motel. Anyway, that's your lot, everyone. Thanks for listening or watching or whatever you're doing. We've had a lot of trouble recently with Spotify basically removing our episodes. So if you've heard this, then hopefully that means that has improved. But we're still living it large on YouTube's.
Nice.
Okay. Right. I'm going to say goodnight.
See you later.
Bye.